to our movie review show. As always, I'm your host, Daniel, with my father and co host, Jerry. Say hi, Dad.
Hello.
Today we're actually doing something a bit different. We're going to review the first 5 episodes or so of the Mandalorian Season 2. Um, so I guess we should probably share our thoughts so far of the season overall, which kind of like piggybacking off the second season. I think it started off. I guess we're about slightly over halfway through. I think there's going to be 8 episodes. I think it started off really well so far.
Yeah.
It's moved the plot along well. It's introduced us to a few new aspects of things and whatnot.
Well, it seemed like if you look at it from the perspective of right now, the first season was Act One of the sort of thing, and this is now Act Two. Where it's the first one we figured out what was going on as to they were after the child and who was after him and everything, and sort of Act Two now is him taking the child, trying to find the child's home.
Yeah. And so far, like the main point of like this whole season has been to find the kid's home, compared to the first one, which was just kind of well, meeting the kid, learning about the kid, and then them getting together. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good analogy. The first season seems to be was an act one, very much an act one, and this has so far been an act two.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously the first episode it takes right back off after the first one, with him going to look for more Mandalorians so he can find because to see if they know any more about the Jedi.
Yeah.
And it starts off with him going to back to we go back actually to Tatooine, and he goes and finds somebody who, what I'm assuming, and I think this is the main assumption of the internet, was Boba Fett's armor.
Yes.
At least it looked like it. The guy mentions where he found it in a place where it could have been, uh, and though it though we still don't know if Boba Fett's technically alive in this universe. I don't think the post Disney takeover, but I'm assuming he is since he's such a popular character. um, uh, this episode actually had one of my favorite gags so far in the whole show, and with the guy getting his jetpack and then it
Hmm.
just taking off with him.
Yeah.
Uh, but the whole episode was essentially he meets the guy that has the armor. He's not obviously Mandalorian. He just kind of found Boba Fett's armor. He's protecting a town, and they make an agreement that they take out the I forget what they're called. They're some type of dragon, but it's essentially a giant sandworm, and they'll do it, and it kind of goes from there.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I
Um,
mean, I kind of guessed how he was going to go inside of it to kill it, but that's pretty much how almost all
the,
these things work.
the old
Hercules.
Herculean
Yeah.
idea. Yeah, I think that they did a especially good job on filming the scene with the worm and the battle.
Yeah, so far, for the most part, a lot of the battle scenes in this season have, I thought, been really good. Uh, with the exception of, I think, the third episode, in which I wasn't a big fan of them. But, yeah, a lot of the battle scenes, I think, have been a bit bigger and a bit better than last season. Uh, they kind of now know what they're uh, going for and stuff with them. Uh, you actually had kind of an interesting role of I forget it, his name's like Deja Din or something, the Mandalorian, in which he was kind of a peacemaker between the Sand People and the village, which I thought was
Yeah.
interesting. Because we don't really you don't really see that much in the show.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, that was for the most part the first episode. It started it off. You then learn he has some other contact that might know where some other Mandalorians are, and you meet uh, and you meet the frog lady, and then it goes into the next episode.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess the next episode is I don't know if it's the most controversial or the second most controversial of the season, because it had Baby Yoda eating the eggs,
Yeah.
which we've seen him eat a whole bunch of stupid things so far,
Yeah.
and have no. So I think it was very much in his character to do that. We've seen him pretty much eat anything, and even in that same episode, we see him go over to spider eggs and start eating them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't think the joke was nasty or mean or anything, but I get why some people did. But I like this episode a lot, largely because I like the frog lady. I thought
Mhm.
she was cool. Uh, I thought the way they did her with like the hopping and stuff was neat.
Yeah.
Um, but it was I thought like the kind of spider things were fun. This one was actually very much, I'd say, like more of a B movie kind of horror episode than anything.
Yeah.
Hmm. But uh, and it also kind of shows. And this was also kind of the first time we've seen I guess the New Republic kind of
Yeah.
in there because they had the people patrolling the sectors and stuff
Hmm.
going on. I don't know.
And in
Yeah.
fact, the New Republic comes to actually save the Mandalorian
Hmm.
and kill off the big spider.
Yeah. We had it. This was like I said. I think this episode was more just kind of like It was very much a creature feature episode.
Hmm.
Because you had the spiders, you kind of had this thing that was a swarm that something like that you're not used to seeing, and he's not really used to fighting. So you kind of had that. I guess there really wasn't that much that happened in it, except to kind of more set it up for the next one.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, and the next one had one of my favorite scenes in it. The next one actually is probably my least favorite episode so far. The third one. I don't know about you. Uh,
I don't know the.
yeah.
I was. I was just thinking of it. It's the. This one. This episode is actually directed by Carl Weathers.
No, that's the fourth episode.
Oh, that's the fourth
You think
episode.
I'm thinking the one with the Mandalorians is the third one.
Okay.
The other
Okay.
Mandalorians. It
Yeah.
has it might have one of my favorite scenes in it, which is the soup thing attacking Baby Yoda,
Oh yeah.
which I really liked.
Which came at the very beginning. They walk into
Yeah,
the bar and yeah.
which I thought was a pretty funny gag, and it worked. Uh, I think that a lot of the stuff with Baby Yoda and kind of the slapsticky stuff in it has worked so far really well.
Yeah.
And especially in the next episode, it has my favorite scenes with him in the whole series.
Mhm.
But this one, like, I think this one he meets like another set of Mandalorians, which we kind of get a cool thing of that there's we learn there's different subsets of Mandalorians.
Yeah.
And his we don't know exactly everything about him, but his seem to be far stricter with certain aspects of the code in the way or whatever.
Yeah.
But we don't know if they're as that. I know these characters are from like another thing. At least the lead female one was, but I don't know too much about her or that episode
Yeah.
things. At least from what I've seen on the internet. So
Yeah.
I can't really say too if they're out of character or whatever.
Yeah.
But like my problem though with this episode, I didn't think the action scenes were that well done. You
Hmm.
kind of had them just like invading a ship, and that's it. And I
Yeah.
didn't think there was really any clever shootouts or anything in it, or
It went too quickly. He just runs at him and then throws the stuff and they're
yeah,
gone.
yeah. I didn't think, yeah, I just didn't think the action set pieces in this one worked that well. I didn't mind so much on the fishing ship, in which
Yeah.
they knock him and Baby Yoda in the thing,
Yeah.
and then we see the other ones kind of descend down and help him.
Yeah.
But I thought that was fine, but I didn't think like the other sections were. I guess they did have some fun with it at one point with them locking the guys into the thing where the controls are so they can just open it. But
Yeah.
other than that, I kind of felt the action set pieces in this one were pretty bland,
Mhm.
especially compared to like uh, I mean the previous two episodes we kind of had these a lot of fun creatures and stuff, and like some stuff with the jetpack shenanigans,
Yeah.
and this one just kind of I felt was kind of flat that way.
The in this one, yeah, the taking over the ship went too quickly.
Hmm.
I mean, there wasn't any real fight. They
Yeah.
just got down the hallway and he threw a bunch of hand grenades in and they stopped him.
Hmm.
And and so that was there's no question about that.
I didn't think there was a bit of like a time limit on it,
Mhm.
but I didn't think the time limit worked too well. It
Yeah,
just didn't. You just didn't have it, or you didn't feel the like tension or anything.
yeah,
Maybe if they like, I don't know, you throw in like some tougher uh villains or something. You throw in like a big bad at the end, or
yeah,
but I mean, like I said, it was just kind of four Mandalorian guys. They just kind of slaughtered them.
yes.
Uh,
Hmm.
there wasn't any real like clever things or
Hmm.
that. Hmm. I mean, I did like we got more with the frog people, and we saw like the eggs hatch and stuff, which was pretty cool.
Yes,
And Baby Yoda like interacting with the tadpoles and
yeah,
whatnot.
yes.
Uh, but um, other than that, I don't know. That episode just I didn't think was that well done.
No,
Could have used maybe another rewrite or two.
yes,
Uh, which is to say, like the next episode I actually liked a lot.
yes. The Jedi.
Yeah, no, that's this is the one with that Carl Weathers directed.
Okay,
The
yeah,
fourth one, where
yeah,
we had him going to get his ship repaired.
yes,
This is one like I actually thought like because one it kind of went back to the first season and how they're just kind of mucking about for a bit, but it also progressed the story because you had them kind of you had them invading a you had them like you had them invading a base
hmm,
that was related in which like the main thing was the base and you only found out at the end like oh they were doing experiments with Baby Yoda's blood,
yes,
which I thought was kind of good. And you had obviously the end with, I think it's Moff Gideon or whatever, Gus
yes,
from Breaking Bad,
hmm,
um,
yes,
kind of like saying some stuff and like, oh, we planted a tracker and whatnot. But
yeah,
the primary focus of it was very much a self-contained episode. It had some good. It had everybody's new favorite character, jeans and t-shirt guy,
yeah,
hiding out uh, there. But it and above all this, it had the best Baby Yoda parts of the series so far.
hmm,
With him hooking the wires up in this ship, I thought was great. Him stealing the cookies was great,
yes,
and him throwing up was pretty great.
yes.
Still having the cookies while doing it. Yeah, I thought this episode was just a lot of fun.
Hmm. Yeah, it was.
Hmm.
They did a good job on getting into the base and doing that.
Hmm.
Now, in this one, there were several parts to getting the base. It didn't go like clockwork like the
Yeah,
one and the other one. Yeah.
yeah, it didn't really go like clockwork. They were kind of, you had like it had more. It had the characters that invaded the base were all different compared to like
Yeah.
before they were all Mandalorians and all were kind of very much the same.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. And the two, both Carl Weathers and the frog or the whatever he was.
yeah, I thought
The
they played off of each other really well, and
yes,
I was actually happy they brought him back because he was only obviously in the first episode for a short time and all, but he
yeah.
was
You just went off. Shoot.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I pulled out my cord.
Oh,
I don't know if you were saying something.
yeah. I said that. Yeah, I think this one was one they certainly it was good play between Weathers and the alien dude who had been from the first one, who has had a good, nice, funny part in the first one. This one he also did. Uh, he's a little scared. He's a little bit everything that you, even
Yeah,
though
but
he's a, yeah, mhm,
I
yeah,
mean, my only thing is I was kind of hoping they'd use because they were mentioning like they're gonna set it so I guess the lava would just melt down the base. It wouldn't cause
yeah,
anything else,
mhm,
but have like a lava chase or something. But no, I mean this one it had some. You had obviously the like them infiltrating the base in which they had to kind of remain hidden. Then
mhm,
it went into them like activating the thing. You find out that they learned that Gus is still alive
yeah,
uh, in it, which we also know the other Mandalorians are looking for. You have you have then like the one guy having to go back because he's worried about Baby Yoda.
yeah,
They learn they're still looking for the child. Uh,
mhm,
and then you have the chase scene, and then you have the fight scene,
yeah,
the dog fight scene. And I thought all the scenes flowed into each other nicely and made sense. They all escalated. They all
yeah,
really worked. You have like in this point they kind of get pinned down at one point by and they hack into the thing. Overall, the action in this one I think just worked a lot better than the one before it
mhm,
because there was actually like a sense of threat going on
yeah,
and things didn't and you didn't feel like they just totally outgunned them at every occasion.
yeah, mhm,
Um, so and obviously the fight scene ending with Baby Yoda throwing up after him doing a
yeah,
barrel rolls down and blowing up the guy was pretty great.
mhm,
Uh, and Baby Yoda using the Force to steal.
yeah.
Uh,
Let's
so
keep,
far, that's pretty much mostly what he's used the Force to get stuff to eat and to steal the ball off.
yeah, in fact, this season he hasn't used the force much. The first season, of course, he
Mhm.
used the force to help him get out of one of those situations.
Yeah, he lifted up the thing.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't know if he's used the like. I don't think he's really used the Force to help him get out of any situations so far this season.
this season, yeah,
Yeah, which is interesting. He's kind of just used it mostly to. It seems like get. Well, I guess he kind of demonstrated that he can use it in the last episode, but for the most part, he's used it to get food,
hmm,
which is fine. It's in his character,
yes,
like we said. He likes to eat and is usually after something to eat.
yes,
Um, but I guess that leads us into the most recent episode, The Jedi, which is also the first episode this season that wasn't written by Jon Favreau,
hmm,
but the other guy I'm blanking on his name who makes the show.
uh, the
Hmm.
yeah, this one is by Illinois,
Yeah,
David Illinois.
yeah,
Uh, almost all of them are written by either David Illinois or John Favreau,
yeah.
from both the first and second season. I guess Dave Illinois also wrote another one. He wrote the Gunslinger episode in the first, yeah,
Hmm.
and but almost all of them are actually as you say, by John Favreau.
Yeah, this one, Jon Favreau. Yeah, this one was the first time we've had a Jedi in the show or
Hmm,
ex Jedi,
yeah,
who again I know is from. At least I'm pretty sure. I don't think they ever officially said it was her, but it's is from like the Clone Wars TV show and stuff. I
yeah,
believe she was actually Anakin's apprentice.
yeah,
Um, she has the white lightsabers that actually like is something I will complain about is the fact like I like the setup and like where the place was, but I thought having a different color lightsaber would look better than the white ones because it's a very
yes,
foggy, very worn out place, and I always liked how the lightsabers contrasted in color a lot of times to it.
yes,
And I know full well like the reason it's green in Return of the Jedi is because it had problems with seeing it with the sky, and the reason Samuel L. Jackson's is blue is because purple is because he wanted a purple lightsaber.
hmm,
But I always thought they contrasted each other nicely, like the blue and the red and the red and the green. which so
Yeah.
I kind of wish they probably would have. And I know she has the white ones. I know like the backstory is like they're red ones that have been healed or something, because um, but I wish I just kind of wish because they could have added more color into it, uh,
Hmm.
because it was just kind of. It would have been kind of neat, because obviously, like having a Jedi in that area, kind of bringing hope and color back to this kind of planet that's been stripped of all of its resources and stuff. Which is like I actually liked a lot of the like not just the Jedi background in this episode, but like just the background in general about how they
Yeah.
have these people that are like stripping planets and stuff for the resources.
And I thought that they had their, the military men in this was had sort of cool suits.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the
Mm-hmm.
torture area that they're hanging up the guys was
Mm-hmm.
really cool as to a torture thing where they were actually held up in the air, and if they moved, they'd get shot.
Yeah. Well, I liked how that the person like knew they didn't have like tremendous resources or anything. They had just enough to kind of hold off a Jedi,
Yeah,
a skilled Jedi, but they knew that um but obviously like it was still a threat. She was I mean she was kind of using stealth. She was hiding out. She was creeping on them and stuff. So they were like using like the whole town as like a threat. Like you can't attack us. You can't get in
yeah.
here. You're just kind of that. I thought like it's one of the few times in the thing I felt like yeah there would actually be a really big stalemate here. And I think that's really hard to pull off where you have like almost an absolute stalemate between two sides.
Yeah.
And I found that very interesting. Um, because obviously the thing she's most worried about is the townspeople, and they're worried on it. Uh, but obviously the big thing is in this episode is we learn Baby Yoda's name,
Yeah.
Grogu or Grogu or something.
Grogu. Yeah.
Grogu, yeah.
Yeah.
I literally put it in the name of this episode and I couldn't
Yeah.
remember it. But we get that. And again, the ending fight. They don't really use him too much in this episode, though. Really, which I thought they could have had a bit more fun with.
Yeah.
Um, or like kind of using the like blasted environment. I thought they could have maybe had some more fun with it. But that being said, the ending fight scene in the town was really good
Yeah.
because you had them kind of sneaking around the town. You had uh, you had a really good fight between the Jedi and the lead of the town,
Yeah.
in which like as well as it also like at the end of it he gets the weapon that she has. So we have a weapon. So now he has a weapon that he can fight Jedi with at least.
Yeah.
Block a lightsaber with, and we know his armor can, which was cool.
Yeah.
Um, some kind of spear thing. Uh, so it set up that well, but their fight was pretty good. The kind of like the sneaking around the town they had to do
Yeah.
on it. The fact her big heavy guy, the ex-military guy, I thought was pretty fun. Who's like talking, who just kind of doesn't really fight him. He just kind of talks to him, and then uh, they each try to sneak and shoot each other. Um, and that's
We
kind of fun.
also learned the background of Grogu.
Yeah,
Or,
and how he's kind of like he's very terrified and very scared.
Mhm.
You kind of learn he was trained to a certain degree, which I know people were complaining about. Oh, it's
Yeah.
this baby doing this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's a baby, doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's a toddler more,
Yeah.
uh, but you learn his background. You learn that he kind of doesn't know what happened to him, which I thought was smart because obviously you can fill in more stuff there. You can you can have like maybe he was held by the Empire for a while. Maybe he was.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like looking for the Yoda people's home planets and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know like they like they don't even have like Star Wars as a whole doesn't even have a species name for them, let alone a home planet. I think there's only been like 4 or 5 total that they've ever talked about
Hmm.
uh, in the book stuff. So
Yeah.
they're pretty rare.
And, We also know that the Jedi was going after Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah, well, who's not Gus?
He's not Gus, yes.
Yeah, and that should be. Though we know the Mandalorian's going after Gus. I think it's for his like the dark saber or whatever, the laser sword thing he had. But and I guess now the our uh, our Mandalorian has a weapon that he can fight it with.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going after another. So we have kind of set up. We have set up these two big bad guys up there.
Hmm.
That's going on. They like I said, it was interesting because they kind of talked about how the Empire's gone, but it's still very
Yeah.
much there. Um, this episode, like the last two episodes in particular, I thought were really good because they set up so much.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
set up so much, but they didn't really, and they set it up very quickly and very well.
Hmm.
Because now you have several of these big lingering threats out there, like like you have whatever the troopers or whatever you saw Gus had.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they're shock troopers or whatever, which are the ones that are like designed to hunt, trained to hunt Jedi.
Yeah.
But you have those people kind of there. You have a few others. Um, we know obviously there's other Jedi left because
Hmm.
we're given a thing like, hey, he has to go to this mountain in some Jedi temple and
Yeah.
set him on it because maybe then he'll call out through the Force and you'll find somebody that can train him because I can't, but he's really attached to you and which we kind of knew already. But mhm. And obviously one of the big things we've seen in the past few episodes still is kind of the leftovers of the Empire
Yeah.
and how they're still kind of very much a threat,
Hmm.
which really wasn't shown in the last trilogy,
Yeah.
last three, 9 through,
Yeah.
I mean 7 through 9.
Hmm.
But yeah, overall so far I think the season's like it took a lot what it learned from season 1 and has expanded upon it really well.
Yeah. Hmm. And it seems like it's got a long way to go.
Yeah, which I guess is a good thing. I don't know if there's going to be 10 or 8 episodes this season. We'll talk about them again whenever it ends. I'm sure.
8 episodes this
Okay,
season,
so
so
we
they got
got three
3 more.
more. We were gonna
Yeah.
do the first four, but then we realized they dropped episode 5, so we watched that and did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was 8. But yeah, I mean, I think like the way they're doing is they're gonna probably seems like they're gonna. I'd assume the ending of the season will be him placing Baby Yoda on the mountain or Grogu
Yeah.
or whatever, and that's where that season will end. At least that makes the most logical sense to me.
Yes.
But um, so far, and obviously that would go into next season really well. But so far, I think they've done a pretty excellent job with it. Um,
Yes.
and like I said, with the exception of the one episode, all the action this season I thought was done extremely well.
Hmm. Yeah. The last one they did extremely well with the fight between the lightsabers and
Yeah. Hmm.
the spear. Hmm.
Yeah.
And, yes.
I think that's about all we have to say about it, unless you have anything else to talk about.
No, I do not.
Okay. And that's I guess then the end of this episode. If you like the episode, please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitch. Thank you, and have a great uh, night or day. Bye.
But